Greetings all. Hope this video finds you well. I'm looking forward to starting to work with all of you in June when I arrive, but until then, I guess we'll do it this way. So I'm going to share with you today a little bit about WordPress blogs. I've been using these blogs since about 2007 for student online portfolios, as well as for you can also use them to build really nice web pages and so on and so forth. So it's a great interface. I also have used the other tools that we're looking at. I'd have to say that my other top choice would be Weebly. Drag and drop interface is great for the younger students. It creates a polished look, which I think is important when you're representing yourself and you're learning. And it also has a few bells and whistles that are kind of fun that you can also implement in which I think it makes it stand above the Google tools. The Google tools, of course, you can integrate that easily because the students are already signing into their Google Apps accounts. But I think that maybe WordPress and Weebly have a little bit more to offer, especially on the management back-end side for network managing if we're doing kind of the campus overview looks. So let's dive into it, shall we? This that you're looking at here, this page is an example. It's just a demo blog, so don't pay too much attention to the content. But it's where I kind of kick around some ideas and post things to demonstrate for students and to do video tutorials. So as you can see, it's kind of a nice format, but let's take a look at what that could look like on other pages. So you can see that students or teachers have options for kind of the setup, the visual look to it. And if we want to see that in action, here's one that allows them to maybe post some art or maybe make it a more visual piece rather than this one, which is maybe a little more text-based. Okay? So just so you have an idea of the flexibility of the formatting. Now, also on the rubric, it mentions some things about tagging, sorting, dating, and title. All of those things are included. We'll take a look at those features. Right here, we're on a landing page, right? Welcome page. And so that's a stagnant page. Let me say page one more time because I think I said it about 20 times back then. But you can also create posts. So it is a blog format and it encourages for creating posts. Where WordPress stands out to me is that it doesn't just have tags. It also has categories. And categories work very similar in the sense that you're using a word or two words to organize information or to associate that post with a particular topic. Now, categories can be added to the menu in WordPress, and so that's what we're looking at here. And I think of the categories if you think of maybe a filing cabinet, right? Your blog is your filing cabinet. In that filing cabinet, you have different drawers, and so I think of the categories as your drawer, and then I think of the tags as your folders within that drawer. Okay, so the categories are kind of those big ideas. Students are always going to have an English class, always going to have a math class, whether it's 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and so on and so forth. Now, so we keep these categories kind of at the top and are able to organize into them. Here we can see some subcategories, and because they're subcategories, they show up underneath this larger category. So we can create drop-down menus as well, and I know that that was something that we talked about for the PYP. Now, why are these categories key? Why not just use tags? Well, again, tags can't be added to the menu. They can be added to the categories can, however. And then whenever I click on this category, anytime that a post has been categorized, it's going to show up here. So here we see several different posts that are showing up underneath the portfolio category. It's like a little mini RSS feed if you're familiar with RSS feeds. Same with the English piece. So it allows me as an English teacher that whenever I go to see Johnny's blog, that I can go straight to his English content, the information that I want to focus on, to maybe provide him with feedback, or maybe it's a particular area that I want to focus on. So it doesn't have to be, your categories don't have to be content areas, but maybe could be overarching themes or something along those lines. Now, if I am an English teacher and I want to just focus on that English, I don't have to sort through the RSS feed like I would on maybe a blogger blog. I instead can actually, so I'm already in the category English, I can just type in feed here, I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And if I happen to be using an RSS, whoops, daisy, let me just switch here. If I happen to be using an RSS feed reader, and I post that in here, there we go. Then as I subscribe, I can subscribe specifically to the English category, which is really handy for me. Again, I don't have to read through the science blogs or kind of try and find those specific things. And so that's, again, a lot of the rubric that you guys had created was talking about how do we organize journey as well as trail, and oops, I keep doing that. Good gravy. Okie dokie. And so with that information, these categories and these tags, it's going to help us organize that. So let's talk a little bit more about that journey and then the trail. We want kids to be able to keep a lot of information in here and be able to easily go back to things. And so that's where just being smart about how we teach them how to tag and categorize is really going to help them out. So for instance, one of the tags that we can use is LA12, and LA12 for us represents Language Arts 12. So anytime that students do something for their English class in 12th grade, they not only categorize it as English so that it shows up in that strand, but then they also tag it as LA12. And this is handy to teachers if they want to, look back at different generations so that we can target not just their English learning, but specific years that they did that learning. And then tags also can help with, things like their Frankenstein project. You can see this tag here popping up. So this is where, kind of understanding how tags and categories can work for us is really going to be crucial in that organizing and managing of content. Now, as far as the network piece, Campus Press hosts WordPress, and as you can see here, there's unlimited storage, which is going to be key if we're thinking, if we want students to be going from nursery all the way up to 12th grade with these blogs, there's going to be a lot of content, creating videos, audio, so on and so forth. And so we want to make sure that students can include that. So I invite you to explore campuspress.com. If you have additional questions, let me just go ahead before I hop off here. Let me show you the dashboard. So the dashboard is where the magic happens. So this is kind of the background piece, and this is the network manager setup. So there's a lot more to it than maybe the kids would see. But what I always tell the students, what do you want to do? Well, you want to make a post. What do you click on? Post. Great. And you want to add a new one? Great, you can click add a new one. If you want to edit one of the others, you just simply click on the title, right? So if we click on the title of one, we can edit the title. It has a regular old, formatting toolbar there. You can add media, insert from URLs, as well as upload. And then you can also select things that have been added to your media gallery from other places. And then finally over here, just teaching the students that you categorize before you post and that you can tag as well. Any tag that was already created, for instance, LA7, it's going to go ahead and pop up for me, so it can add there. Now I'm just confusing myself. I'm going to remove that there. And then clicking publish or update is going to do that. Handy for the little students is that we can change and manage whether it posts publicly. We can do it privately, so that only people who are set up to be have editing rights to their blog are going to be able to see what they're posting. So we can manage that by level, right? So maybe at the second grade level is where we change to them actually posting publicly, and so on and so forth. And then there's also password protection, so that you can set up a password so that only maybe parents know that password and can access their kids' information on their online blog. So different ways that we can tweak that in the network settings, so that students don't necessarily have to do that management themselves. We can also dumb down the management board over here, or the menu, so that students also aren't being kind of overwhelmed by all of the different options that they have. And so we can kind of control and lock down things as well as open up things based on users' level and where they're at. Now finally, if we switch over here, you'll also see that a teacher can have students' blogs listed underneath them. So if they're added as one of the editors, then they'll actually be able to kind of jump between not only if the teacher has a blog that they're modeling with, but also to other student blogs. So again, that's kind of a quick and dirty introduction to WordPress blogs. There's tons of tutorials out there if you're interested in learning a little bit more about WordPress. One of the things that I like about it is that it can go pretty deep. We can get kids in here, tweaking HTML and changing some of the format that way if we want to open that up to them as an opportunity, or we can break it down to make it quite simple. I also did want to mention that this works. There's an app, so on iOS systems, you can download the app, and the user interface is actually a little bit nicer. It's a little bit easier, so would be nicer for our younger students there. I hope you found this helpful and not too long-winded. Sorry about that. But if you have any questions, let me know. I can set up a demo account for you all if you'd like to get in there and kick the tires yourself. But feel free to shoot me questions, and yeah, I'd love to help you in any way. Like I said, I think that we have some great options there. But as far as if we're thinking longitudinally and being able to easily organize and access the information that we want, I think that some of the categorizing and the tagging of the WordPress blogs can help us organize that information so that students aren't overwhelmed as they go back through the years to choose things and to kind of refine what's showing up on their portfolio. And I think it also provides easier access for those that are coming to view the content so that they can really target what they're interested in. But that's my 2 cents, and you guys know your FDR students a lot better than I do. Hopefully soon that won't be the case, but I know that you guys are going to choose what you think is best tool for their learning and for demonstrating what they know and understand and the great students that they are. So thanks a lot, appreciate your time, and toodaloo.